Bullying and childhood obesity. What does it mean to be obese or overweight? Professional healthcare practitioners determine a child's weight status by taking a look at their body mass index, or BMI, which is essentially the measure of someone's weight in relation to their height. Physicians first measure the child's BMI, and then, using a growth chart, compare the BMI of the child with the average for children of his or her age. If it is found that 85 to 95% of a child's peers have a lower BMI, the child is considered overweight. If it is found that 95 or more of a child's peers have a lower BMI, the child is considered obese. The Mayo Clinic cites some of the major health risks of childhood obesity as being an increased risk of developing heart disease as an adult, increased blood pressure and hypertension, hepatitis, cirrhosis, or liver failure, a risk of developing type 2 diabetes in both children and adults, sleeping disorders, asthma and other breathing problems, and emotional complications like depression and behavioral and learning disorders. Though it may seem odd to call childhood obesity an epidemic, it has been labeled as such because its prevalence among the country's youth has more than tripled over the last 30 years. Aided by such factors as a spike in the amount of fast food restaurants and a decrease in physical exercise due to television and video games, childhood obesity now affects about a third of the country's youth. Along with the many health issues associated with childhood obesity, there is also a serious social consequence that is often perpetuated by it: bullying. Recent scholarship has shown that there is a positive relationship between obesity and bullying, meaning that when one increases, so will the other. An article published in May 2010 on the academic journal Pediatrics found that obese children are more likely to get bullied than their non-overweight peers, regardless of the child's gender, race, family socioeconomic status, school demographic profile, social skills, or academic achievement. While it might seem obvious to many that overweight children are antagonized by their peers at schools and playgrounds, this study draws attention to a correlation which is rarely accounted for in attempts to end obesity and bullying. These findings have powerful implications for the efforts being made towards alleviating both obesity and bullying in American communities. Programs engendered to combat obesity in schools and households need to take into account the fact that many children are often antagonized as a result of being overweight, and that an overexcited and well-publicized call for obese children to lose weight might incite malicious children to taunt and bully them. Efforts to combat obesity must account for the social stigma carried by the condition, and specifically address the potential marginalization of obese children. This can be done in several ways. Weight gain can be described by schools and parents as a medical disability, increasing the tendency of other children to be sympathetic towards obese kids. Programs addressing obesity could include self-esteem workshops that would provide children with the tools necessary for coping with social pressure and bullying. Instead of addressing obesity directly, a program could focus on aspects of healthy living which can be practiced by all members of a community. The latter of these three advocacy suggestions has been put into practice in Michelle Obama's new campaign titled Let's Move. The First Lady's program aims at reducing the incidence of childhood obesity by promoting change in the eating habits of schools and households, and by encouraging physical exercise for everyone. By addressing society as a whole, this program integrates obese children into a greater social consciousness for healthy living. I believe that this approach is the most effective for helping obese children get healthy while not making them vulnerable to bullying and taunts by others, because it does not marginalize them. Thank you for watching.
Let's Move is a nationwide initiative that basically focuses on 4 key components. First, we want to improve the information and the tools that parents need to make the changes that are desired in their families. The second is that we have to improve the quality of food in our schools. That's where kids are eating many of their meals, and we have to do a better job of making sure that that food is quality. Third, we need to improve access and affordability of healthy foods. We have to eliminate food deserts in this country, and we need to do it now. And finally, we have to increase physical education for our kids. We need to get them moving. And we're going to be relying a lot on major sports organizations to help us achieve that goal. And we're very excited about that. Let's Move is going to take families out of their isolation.